past glory, but to prove its own commitment to credibility and neutrality in the December polls.
So those are the big stories. I'm Kemini Amano.
And I am Martin Esiedudate. Details in a minute.
Now, Speaker of Ghana's Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, will address the media on recent development within Parliament this afternoon, November 6, 2024, at the Justice D.F. Annan Auditorium at the Job 600 Parliament House, that is. Now, a press release issued by the Public Affairs Subdivision of Parliament said broader issues concerning democratic development in Ghana will also be addressed by the Speaker. Now, the statement added that the engagement aims to provide an opportunity for the media to discuss critical issues affecting Ghana's parliamentary democracy, including recent events that have led to significant political development. Now, Parliament is currently not sitting because Bagbin on October 17th adjourned the House indefinitely. This followed his declaration of 4 seats vacant, a ruling which he has since been ordered by the Supreme Court not to implement. Now, Parliament has been recalled by the Speaker to sit on Thursday, November 7th, which is also facing a lawsuit at this moment. Well, conversations on the back of that will follow shortly. But remember that we are your election command center. Let's talk about the biggest election of the last 2 days, the U.S. elections. Now, the ambassador to Ghana, Virginia Palmer, has called on political figures to sign the 2024 Peace Pact urgently to demonstrate their desire for peaceful elections. Speaking to the media at a breakfast and watch party for the U.S. election, she also justified reasons America has placed visa restrictions on persons who intend to foment trouble during the polls. Here's a report by Christian Yale.
It was more than just an event, but a celebration of democracy's power to unite people across borders. Invited guests enjoyed a breakfast feast while watching the live coverage of the 2024 U.S. election result unfold on large screens. For the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, Virginia Palmer, the peaceful process in America should guide Ghana going into the December 7 polls. She urged parties to urgently sign the Peace Pact.
I'm happy that the American election was a model, as it should be, of people having very strong differences of opinion and then waiting peacefully in line to cast their ballots, because that's the most important thing they could do. I think signing of the Peace Pact as soon as possible by all parties, and commitment to peace and to elections being run properly by all of the parties involved, and we're hearing those signals properly, is incredibly important. Whether it's wet signatures on a peace pact or just officials saying, I commit that Ghana's elections will be a model for the region and the continent.
Virginia Palmer expressed her readiness to deepen economic partnerships between Ghana and America, adding that the change in leadership will not affect the existing bonds both countries share.
The relationship with Ghana will remain extremely important to the United States, even with change of administration. Ghana is so important to the United States for every reason that you'll see a continuation of that great, deep relationship and maybe deepening.
On the new policy that will restrict U.S. visas for any individual responsible for undermining democracy in Ghana, she said it will deter bad behaviors.
Ghana is the 4th country in Africa, I think, where we've announced it. We also have instituted that policy in Europe and Latin America. It's not directed at the government of Ghana or at particular political parties, but we can not just refuse visas, but revoke visas for people who undermine or interfere with Ghana's democratic process. I think it's a very useful tool to have. I hope I don't have to use it. I hope it will deter bad behavior and hate speech.
It was a moment of victory to democracy, with all who gathered looking forward to a new dawn of leadership that will prioritize interests of both countries. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Accra.
We can now speak on the developments of the last few hours regarding the U.S. elections. Joining me now is Dr. Daniel Dramani Kipo Sunyezi. He is with the Legon Center for International Affairs and Development. Thank you so much for joining us here, Dr. Kipo. Listen, I want to look at the U.S. elections from the perspective of the U.S. ambassador to Ghana. In that statement, she's made mention of the fact that, the relations between the U.S. and Ghana will not change to a large extent. That is true, but we also expect some small but key things to also change, don't we?
Thank you very much. I think I listened to the ambassador, and I think the comments of the ambassadors are very pretty right. Diplomatic sense, U.S. as the center of democracy, that put great premium on democracy, is right to encourage all other democracies to hold to the tenets of democracy. And a statement that the United States will not issue or even to go the extent to revoke visas for those who actions or inactions that leads to violence, political violence. And I think that is a very nice one. It's a democratic statement and it's very diplomatic. So it's a way of at least trying to tell all our political elites on both sides, to the left, to the right, to be wary, so that we just allow the rules of engagement to occur. Whoever is elected, we should respect the will of the people, and that is it. Even in the United States, it has happened. And so we should embrace that. And I think that statement is fair.
I mean, we say that, but of course, at the diplomatic level, in terms of, the large relationship between Ghana and the U.S., we don't expect any changes. But we've also known the position of Trump on a number of issues, particularly concerning countries outside of the U.S. For instance, on security, we know he had exited NATO already in his last, administration. So in the sense of security and the U.S.'s role, particularly in regional security for West Africa, what changes do you expect to see?
Yes, I think that one of the biggest problems of Trump, it is his unilateralism. He could easily take a unilateral decision. Maybe whatever good arrangement that Africa has enjoyed with the United States, Trump, as we know him, could easily turn his back. At the same time, this is a second Trump that is coming. Maybe he could prove critics wrong. You think so? By changing.
You think so? I mean, don't forget that he withdrew troops from Niger before. And so, I mean, this is a man who's made clear that it's going to be America first. The rest of the world can wait on America's resources. We already know how precarious the situation as far as security is in that part of the world where we live. Do you expect, things to even get worse as far as America's assistance is concerned with Trump now going for the White House?
Yeah, as I said, he's a very controversial politician. So he can easily, we might think things will be very negative, and he could also go the other side. That is Trump for you. So, but of course, there's a lot of uncertainty about him. So, yes, because of his record of taking unilateral decision, anything can happen. Trump can easily do things that people are quite unimaginable. That is that man. So, and as far as he is going to make his America great, he might go that way, but that is quite unfortunate. But as I said, it is coming for the second time. Possibly,
things may have changed.
That is very possible. That is very possible.
We'll put a pin in that, and perhaps look forward to greater things for countries outside of the U.S., especially, given his victory speech in the last few hours that we've had. But the flip side of that is how the rest of the world is responding to Trump's victory. Remember when he came in 2016, it would appear that there was a lot of disappointment and a lot of well, I can't find the word to describe it, but people just didn't like it. I mean, hate will be a strong word, but there was a lot of dislike around his victory in 2016. We don't see so much of that in 2024. What does that tell you?
That is why I'm saying that he could be a new Trump, because the margin of victory is just so much, swept through the swing states and almost everywhere, governmental, and get to the Congress, get to Senate, get to, it's so much. And I believe that he could come as a very new person and will be able, possibly even he has quite a unilateralism, he might look at it in a different point of view. If you take a unilateral decision that affects the interest of the United States, he might review it. And maybe I think that something very interesting may come from this second coming of Trump. For the world, Middle East and Africa, very possible.
We know that the current administration, the Joe Biden administration, has been, at some kind of a war with China over influence in Africa, including countries like Ghana. What would you expect Trump to do when it comes to his relations with China, with Africa in the center? How should it build its relationship with Africa?
Yes, so, and obviously, it's as I said it's part of his unilateralism that has given China a full coverage, so much into Africa. African Union, China now is strongly in ECOWAS, secretarial and all those kind of things. So Trump may also think that we are losing out the rest of the world. So possibly, U.S. may reposition its foreign policy and a foreign policy direction that they will come back to partner the African Union and other regional communities so that the America can reposition itself. That's why I'm saying that a second time, he might review his policy and may move away a little from that unilateral decision and reposition. China has made great inroads in Africa. And America may review their foreign policy so that they can also come back. And possibly even in the Sahel, Niger, the decision has taken. Trump will look at it in a different way. It's a way of America repositioning itself in Africa as a continent. And
we'll see how that goes if America repositions itself to build a better relations with African countries like Ghana. Thank you so much, Dr. Kipo,
That's right.
for joining us here. Dr. Daniel Kipo is with the Legon Center for International Affairs and Diplomacy. Let's see it.
You're still on NewsCentral on TV3. On to some other stories now. And confusion has rocked the Ghana Freedom Party after the Electoral Commission gave the party 10 days to provide a candidate to replace Madam Ekuya Donkor following her death. 2 letters have emerged as of the 5th of November, which one indicates that the party has found a replacement. The first letter, signed by the General Secretary of the party, George Affle, said that the Ghana Freedom Party has nominated Philip Apiakubi as the candidate to replace former flag bearer Ekuya Donkor, pursuant to Article 44 of the Constitution. In a second letter written to the Electoral Commission, the letter indicated that the nomination of a presidential candidate will be filed by the party within the stipulated time that has been given them by the Commission. The other letter, a few hours ago, we've seen also indicated, it came out a few hours after the first letter, that was signed by the national organizer Richard Botry and has given specific notice. And the title of the letter talked about the withdrawal of the party from the 2024 December 7 elections, and addressed to the EC and said the executive committee of the party have decided to withdraw from the upcoming elections because of internal issues. So what exactly is happening in the camp of the Ghana Freedom Party, that of the Madam Ekuya Donkor's party? So let's speak to, first of all, let's go straight to the law. What does the law say? The Political Parties Act, and Act 574, Section 9 stipulates, and this one says, conditions on registration. It says the Commission shall not register a political party under this act unless the party has on its National Executive Committee one member from each region. The party has branches in all the regions and is, in addition, organized in not less than 2/3 of the districts in each region. And then also it says there is in each district at least one founding member of the party who is ordinarily resident in the district or in a registered district, as a voter in a registered district. The party is not in breach of any of the provisions of this act. So primarily, there are a set of criteria that different political parties must follow before the Electoral Commission can register them as a valid political party where they can put up a candidate for an election like we have in December 7. So let's pick the thoughts of a political analyst on this, whether or not even the DFP, or the Ghana Freedom Party, I should say, qualifies to have been registered by the EC in the first place. Dr. Samuel Afriyie is a political analyst. Doc, good afternoon. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, good afternoon, and greetings to your viewers.
Thank you. Should we even be having this conversation? Hasn't the Electoral Commission failed to go according to the dictates of the Political Party Act?
Yes, I agree 100% to what you read to us about, that is the Political Law Act, that is the 574/2000, that is the part 1, the 9 that read. You see, these political parties, I'm one of those that are against these parties that I call them mushroom parties, that they always come out during election time. Because when you look at these conditions, I don't think that most of these parties go, at least try to abide by these conditions about what he said. That is why these confusions are coming. This confusion is coming from the UFP, and that is an unfortunate situation. And that is the gap or the weakness of EC to make sure that these parties or individuals go according to what the political party law states. But they don't do it, and that is how these things can come. And right. It's unfortunate that these parties are being used by the bigger ones just to use them in the IPAC for decision making, and that is very, very, very wrong for our political system development in this country.
Now, if you say they are being used by the bigger political parties, I can guess that your reference is the NPP and the NDC. But that aside, there is also the school of thought that beyond the NDC and NPP having interest in these smaller parties, the EC must do the right thing by ensuring that the set criteria that every party must follow is there for them to see. Because over the last few electoral periods or the election years, we almost always come to this issue of the smaller parties not having even district office or even regional offices. They don't even have a structure in place. The GFP that we are talking about, for instance, are conflicted. One, they send a letter, or we see a letter saying that they are no more interested in the 2024 elections. Then there's another letter that says we actually have a candidate and that we are going to file. And we see this same Electoral Commission receiving documents purported to be that of the new candidate who is replacing Madam Ekuadonko. How do we proceed from here? That there is a clear confusion that needs to be resolved by the EC, but we don't seem to have we don't see that willingness on the side of the EC to address it.
Yes, you know, even the bigger parties, the EC has also been so relaxed on them, especially the declaration of assets and expenditure. All this while you see them, these parties not abiding by these. So for me, I think that the EC is relaxing and trying to accommodate what we call it a system where it's like, we want things to happen, but we don't want to be so hard. And that is an unfortunate situation from the EC. EC need to ensure that these regulations, I think it is what enacted by Parliament. So I don't see why EC tend to so be relaxed on these conditions, because when you glance through this act, it's unfortunate. I bet you to know that no, I think no political party might even qualify. But right. If they do it, if they ensure that they implement them, you see that these parties will tend to do what is expected of them. But because EC has relaxed, that is why they are just found trying to go against these conditions.
Right. And finally and briefly, we also are a democracy. We want to encourage multi-party democracy in the country. If we say the EC should go strictly according to these rules, there is a likelihood we may never have a third party and we'll be left with a duopoly. Like you even indicated, the two key parties do not even fulfill all of the criteria, but they do better than the small parties. If we want to encourage other political gatherings or parties to partake in elections, how do you advise the EC to approach this? Do they review downwards these criteria, you believe?
Yes, exactly. I agree to you that they should review it, because this is an act that has been enacted. So you cannot just, there's no clause anywhere for you to have a flexibility in some of these conditions. So if EC thinks that we need to be flexible, we need to accommodate these smaller parties so that they can grow to become fine. This is up to the EC to do it. But as it stands now, the conditions and the regulations does not accommodate these irregularities by these parties. I don't think that we should be flexible. The law is not flexible, as it has been stated. It has to be abide. If there's a need, EC has to review what these conditions are.
Dr. Samuel Afriyie, thank you for your time this afternoon. He is a political analyst.
It's still your election command center. Now, over 480,000 first-time voters will be expected to participate in the upcoming general election in Ghana, according to figures from the Electoral Commission. Over the years, most of these young people have voted largely based on family influence or political party affiliation. But has that narrative changed? Ibrahim Abubakar has been engaging some young people who are hopeful to join in the election of the next political leadership of this country. Ibrahim, good afternoon to you. It's been a minute we spoke to you here on NewsCentral. But let's talk about what you're picking up from these young people.
Well, Kemini, is a mixed feeling among these young voters. While some appear excited to be part of those who choose the next leaders of the country for the next 4 years, others appear indifferent. However, when you engage them, you could clearly see that some of these narratives are changing. Now, most of them are not too inclined of voting based on family or political affiliation, but they tell me that they are looking at decisions that will affect them, because whatever decision they take today will affect them tomorrow. So they are scanning through, looking at policies, what will be good for them, what is implementable, and the rest, so that at the end of the day, that will be what will inform their decision to vote. Like you said, over the years, some of them just vote because of the excitement that they just have to vote. But this time around, clearly you can see that that is changing. I engage with some of them, and this is what they've been telling me.
Others, just say the one I think will be good for the country and vote for that person based on their policy. Some say they'll bring employment, they'll bring job for us in the country. That's good. So those are the people we are supposed to vote for. With that job, no one would like to stay in the country. So it will be really nice to decide who becomes the next president of Ghana for the next 4 years. My choice of voting is more working opportunities for we, the young people, because right now there are even graduates who have graduated from the university and they are currently unemployed. So the chances of me and senior high school graduates getting out of senior high school, like the chance of me getting a job is very limited.
I'm not going to vote because they are voting for a certain political party. I will vote on the policy that the person is going to implement. If the policy will favor me, I'll vote for the person. But if the policy doesn't favor me, the youth, or us, the youth, I won't vote for the person. And even if both parties, or let me see, all the parties, all the political parties in this country doesn't make policy that will favor the youth, I don't think I'll vote, because we are the future leaders.
Well, Ibrahim, do you get the sense that locally in the Ashanti region, the political parties are interested in these five voters? Yeah. What are you picking up?
They've been engaging them keenly, and if you look at the policy document of the various political parties, it appears it's youth-centered, because basically what these young people are looking out for is sustainable jobs and also improved conditions of living. Because if once in school and they look and see that those who have even completed before them are struggling to get jobs, that is where the challenge is. And some of them are saying then they have to move out of the country. But then if they get political parties who are keen in giving them all these that they want, then they will remain. So that is it. You find NDC, NPP, Movement for Change, and all the other political parties, New Force, also talking to the youth, engaging them more than even the aged, and telling them what they have for them, should they give them the mandate to rule for the next 4 years.
Well, Ibrahim Mudive here. Thank you so much. Ibrahim Abubakar is our Ashanti region correspondent. We'll turn attention to some other election-related stories. With Ghana's election season heating up, all eyes are on the Electoral Commission to ensure a fair and credible process. Speaking at a peace forum, African Union High Representative for Silencing the Guns, Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers, urged the EC not to rely on past glory.
Right now, all the spotlight is on the EC, the Electoral Commission. They will be in the lead, and everybody else will play a supportive role, as important as it will be. But the focus will be on the EC, and we are all pleading that they continue to perform in an open, transparent, and very credible manner to assure all sides that there will be the neutral referee that they are supposed to be. I know the EC always refers to the high scores from the last elections, but let me also remind that past performance is no guarantee. Past performance is good, but now the task is ahead, and please let us endeavor to ensure that at the end of the day, there will be no cause for dispute regarding the results, regarding the choice of the Ghanaian people, that we will accept it and we'll move on.
We're live on TV3, and this is News Central. Your election command center returns shortly. Don't go away.
Mama, stop worrying. How is Kobna? I got some of his medication. His friends are raising funds to support us.
The kidney disease has taken the toll. But my son and our finances.
Mama, there is hope. The pharmacist told me about Mahama's policies on chronic diseases. John Mahama is going to establish the Mahama Cares Fund to support Ghanaians with kidney diseases, sickle cell, cancer, diabetes, hypertension, and other heart conditions to support and ease the financial burden on families like ours. Mama, but that is not all. Ghanaians can access free healthcare when they go to the CHIPS compound, health centers, clinics, and polyclinics. Mama, we have to vote wisely for Kobene's sake. Mama, wipe your tears. Wipe your tears. Mahama cares.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
We all have that one friend, always by your side for the big moments and ready to assist. He's always got his eyes on the prize and his heart in the right place. Where would we be without our BFF? This season, enjoy all 380 Premier League games with your BFF GoTV. Upgrade or reconnect to GoTV Super Plus for the discounted price of just 265 cedis today. GoTV, love it.
Where munina, tia all the same.
Me afia batu angasa my madrin cemento.
Menkasada.
Omunina ya trofo.
Utete parties nina. Do this is say papa and also dinechi. Papa we.
Medindi Kofi Afan. I'm the leader and founder of the Liberal Party, LPG.
Oh, didn't say papa. I bet brought this generation, the next generation. Now let me tell you the vision of this man.
Na me adom number be president. Akola bi wo Ghana bia. Be bitwaneka. Bosum bia 500 Ghana cedis.
Hey.
They say o maye naya. Bosum bia na kese obi na 2000 Ghana cedis. Sa so na me be president. Omo a omo nya adwuma. If you nwotwe eko nkokora na mrewa so be tue omo ka 700 cedis.
Hey, let me tell me some kra na say
university so be free.
Me, I will vote for number 5.
Madam, I feel 2024 election week. Meto abane di ama LPG. Mami posters ni bi.
O hwe krata na de to abana be number 5. Me na me to so bi. Ma share so de no e yansoma. To abana mami na to mami a me de ose e yo.
Luckiest star 712 hash.
Luckiest everywhere. 8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get a packing so you have to one line. Hey, wait.
You go put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. Hey, ready. We have star 712. It's much more phone. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else? Let me choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now we tell you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or prefer ticket. I'm choosing random ticket. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
there, tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. T&Cs apply.
Papa Sammy, I beg if you find something small, give us.
Bro Sammy, you see, nobody say boys no one do nothing and just they rely on handouts. Jobs to no deep.
I understand the hassle. Hope they come. John Mahama they come do the National Apprenticeship Program where he go sort you guys.
Brother Sammy, waiting with that.
John Mahama knows say no be everybody will won't work for office.
Like me.
That one day is true.
Under the National Apprenticeship Program, young men and women where they won't learn craft will be enrolled under the program and attached to a senior craftsman who will train them for free.
I beg you, mechanic day inside. Me like this. I don't want to learn mechanical, but the course no.
Mechanics day inside. Organizing, dressmaking, fabric making, catering, hairdressing, tiling, painting. What they even sweet about this whole thing they say, when you plead, the NDC government go make sure say they go give you certificate where you go fit take go look for job anywhere.
That's sweet. Oh, that's be one wonderful.
Another one wonderful thing be say, when you plead, the NDC government go some set you up with startup capital and equipment to make sure you can start your own business.
Wow! I dey go shopping my town wait 7th December.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Let's get into the numbers. Latest poll by Global Info Analytics conducted in October of this year suggests that John Dramani Mahama of the NDC leads in 12 out of 16 regions, while Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia leads in 3 regions, and the two are tied in 1 region ahead of the 2024 elections here in Ghana. Most importantly, the NDC candidate is edging closer to securing 27% of the votes in the Ashanti region. Very significant achievement considering the NPP had targeted 85% of the votes there, obviously denting that if October is anything to go by, but I'm not doing the numbers. Martin is here to help us with that. Martin, talk to us. What's happening?
Well, looks like Global Info Analytics in the last poll surveyed about between 2,000 and 3,000 people, so it's a safe sample size. And they are saying, for instance, that per the regional breakdown, the NDC seems to be doing very well. In fact, earlier polls, according to Global Info Analytics, pitches the NDC winning one-touch victory. They've pitched them about 53%. So let's look at the specific regions and how many votes or percentage-wise that Global Info Analytics is getting. They say, for instance, in the Ahafo region, the NDC is getting 55% out, and the NPP is left with 37%. Ashanti region, which is the stronghold of the NPP, they are getting 63% as against the NDC's 30%. Mind you, the Ashanti region comes up for specific mention because when they announced Dr. Matthew Pokumrepe as their running mate, he promised and urged the voters there that we need to make 85% minimum. And so if, as of October, they are still hovering around 60, it means a lot more work needs to be done. The NDC has also promised that we know it is the main opposition, our main opponent's stronghold. However, we want to clinch 30%. They still have some 3% extra work to do if that is anything to go by. Central region, a few minutes ago when we were on Election 360, we all agreed that Central region has always, whoever wins Central region has formed the party of the day. And it is the most swing region of all the key swing regions we have as a country. As it stands, the NDC is winning Central region by 53% per the polls of Global Info Analytics, leaving 40% for the NPP. This is also significant because the vice presidential candidate of the NDC is from the Central region, so probably that is what is doing the magic for them. Also in the Central region, MPP had over the years promised them, promised an airport that they said, well, it wasn't really the promise they wanted to give them. Promised a harbor, which was also scrapped. So I'm sure they're thinking really deeply about that as a region.
Yeah, tough crowd there.
Very, very tough people to convince. I mean, the Central region has actually done bad by the NDC for several years. The NDC chose almost all its vice presidents from the Central region, but they've dilly-dallied in terms of voting for them. The Eastern region predominantly has been safe for the NPP. This time around, they've just inched about 50%. If the NDC is making over 40% in the Eastern region, it tells you that they are likely making some inroads into the numbers of the MPP. So if anything, if NPP wants to hold back the Eastern region as one of its strongholds, then they need to make sure that the green part of this data shifts upward so they can get out further votes. The Greater Accra region, look at this. This is actually one of the biggest. The Greater Accra region is giving 65% of its votes to the NDC and just 25% to the NPP. Mind you, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, a few weeks ago, was in the Greater Accra region when he truncated his tour of the OT region, came to Greater Accra, but as of October, or at the end of October, when Global Info Analytics surveyed, they say just 25% of the voter population in Greater Accra say they'll vote for the NPP. We'll leave it as it is. The Northeast region, 68% are voting for the NPP, and that's quite significant. Only 30% say they'll vote for the NDC. Savannah region, 27% are saying they will vote for the NPP. 69%, almost 70% of the Savannah region say they are voting for the NDC. And Savannah region and the Northeast regions are part of the 6 newly created regions. And it's interesting to note that this is the first time they're going to be voting after the redemarcation. Right. So it's interesting why the decision behind these voter numbers. We'll probably in subsequent shows here at your election command center try to distill to get to the bottom of what's informing this voter patterns.
As we have always said, that it's going to be a battle for the North as well, as much as it would be for places like the Ashanti region and Volta region or the swing regions that we know. Because then, as you said, when it was just one northern region, we knew that the NDC always came up tops. This year, they're looking to claw back some of their losses in those regions. Tamale South and P. Harun Idrisu had told me once that indeed, listen, we're looking at ensuring that we reduce the NPP's gain in the Northeast region in particular, or perhaps even ensure that they are completely out of that region. But it's not going to be an easy one. It won't be easy because their candidate himself also is from that part of the country. Absolutely. So again, comes back to the point, it's a battle for the North.
A battle for the North, because both candidates are extracts from those that part of the country. The Volta region comes up for mention. That I'm sure I've done the Upper East region, where NPP has 32. NDC is above 60%. They are 64% in the Upper East region. And again, mind you, these are per the polls done in October by Global Info Analytics. In the Volta region, recent conversations with John Dramani Mahama with our correspondent Komala Kluche, John Dramani Mahama says that it is not possible, it will not happen that the NPP can get 300,000 votes from the Volta region. The NPP has visited that region a few times. For the first time in the political history, NPP has a seat in the Volta region. They intend to increase the voter percentage in the Volta region. But the NDC, according to John Mahama, will not allow that to happen. They want to get at least 85%. In fact, he said 90%, whilst the NPP in their stronghold of the Ashanti region are looking at getting 85%. They say they want 90% in the Volta region. We'll see how that plays out. Western region, one of the then swing regions, because of the redemarcation, is now 3 different regions. They, specifically in the Western region, 36% of the people surveyed say they'll vote for the NPP, 53% say they'll vote for the NDC. So across board, you can tell that out of these, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these regions. Apart from the Ashanti region, Northeast region, the NDC seem to have made some significant gains in there. Also, the last regions that we are looking at for you, Bono Ahaf region, 51% for the NDC, 42% for the NPP. The Bono East region, 31% for the NPP, 59% for the NDC. Northern region, specifically the Northern region, 58%. And John Dramani Mahama was there a few days ago, had to come back down for the National Peace Council service and has gone to the, is currently in the OT region. So John Mahama is leading per the polls by 58%. In the Northern region, NPP 40%, 35% in the OT region for the NPP, 62% for the NDC. It was interesting. We are still yet to understand why Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia cut short his campaign tour of the OT region, but at least he stopped. Probably might go back. We know that currently it is the vice presidential candidate of the NDC that is there. So the OT region, as it stands, 62% for the NDC, 35% for the NPP. Upper West region, 68 for the NDC, 29 for the NPP, and the Western North region, NDC is winning. So all the polls show that NDC seem to be in quite
looking good,
looking very good for the NDC. They seem to are inching closer to the 270 mark. We are not doing
Indeed.
270.
And they're going to have to hold on to that if they plan to win the election, because obviously it's not going to be a very easy ride for them as well. The NPP is doing its best to ensure that it increases numbers in the Ashanti region and in the Akan-speaking regions as well. And they would want to hold on to Central region, like
we only have, what, 30
otherwise,
days
we are
to go,
having
right?
a repeat of 2020. You know what happened in 2020.
Happen, yes.
But that's it for By the Numbers. We'll be back with more stories. Don't go away. Well, now, flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, says with the launch of the credit scoring system tomorrow, Ghana is going to change. Addressing stakeholders at the Ifija-Setre East constituency, the NPP flag bearer called on the people to vote for him for development in the country.
Your resources be Ghana, but yintimi you see and do my and man put to but because real only hope. Yeah, meaning you and now forward you're focusing on but idea development in Ghana from Accra all the way to Kumasi to Pada is a railway.
Where you are today and what the MPP's candidate is doing.
Right, so good afternoon to you, Kameni. Currently we are at Riamwase. Riamwase is in the Ifija-Setre East constituency. This is one of the vice president began to store from that particular constituency where he engaged stakeholders. And when we talk about the stakeholders, you're talking about the chiefs, traditional leaders, opinion leaders, the clergy and Muslim clerics. So this one, that's where the vice president began his campaign. So from where, when he met them, they told him about some of their needs. For instance, the clergy told him about the need to provide a bus for the senior high school in the community, and also they need to support them to travel outside those of the pilgrimage. So the vice president renewed his commitment that there's a need for him to set up a pilgrimage authority that going forward will be able to finance or support either the Muslims, to support the Christian community to be able to travel to Israel, and also be able to revamp the existing situation that we have when it comes to traveling to Mecca in terms of redoing the Hajj processes. And one of the major issues that the vice president mentioned has to do with the revamping of the railway system, which consistently has been talking about that one, trying to put in a lot of investment into the railway sector so that the railway sector will be able to do the necessary work that it has to do. For instance, improving businesses, improving the turnaround time for those who come. So that's what the vice president has been talking about this morning. Right after that, he's currently addressing the party faithful at Riamwase, and right after Riamwase, moving to Adrianso to other constituencies. He has about 3 constituencies for him to conclude before the close of this day. And most importantly, tomorrow happens to be the day that the vice president will be launching the credit scoring system. He's been talking about that, right? He's seeing that as a major game changer, that when he launches that particular system, then obviously Ghana is going to transform. Ghana is going to change. And all those who would want to provide or want to purchase things will be able to pay that in installment. That was the vice president has been telling them.
Very well.
And currently is addressing the part faithful at Riamwase.
Danny, thank you so much for talking to us. Danny Opoku is traveling with the NPP's presidential candidate, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. You're watching News Central. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia, #1 on the ballot.
I'm a Ghanaian and I love luxury accredited faith and I love democracy.
December 7th, Ghana is voting.
Only peace. Peace, I give it to you all.
I love Ghana.
Peaceful election. before, during, and after.
One Ghana.
Peace! Peace to everybody.
One Ghana. Ghana Bakumpe.
This message brought to you from the Lozi Accredited Faith.
Champion!
Chief, if the election is won at the polling station, why is the final result declared by the EC chairperson?
Very good question. Let me break it down for you. For the presidential election, the whole country is one constituency. We add up the results from all the polling stations before declaring the winner. First, signed pin sheets go to the constituency collation center. Then, results from all polling stations in that constituency are added up and the constituency winner is declared.
So when we finish voting at the polling station, the results are taken to the constituency.
The results are forwarded from the constituency to the regional collation center. The party agents and observers are all at these centers. The regional collation center adds up all constituency results and declares the regional winner.
Hey! This process is long, Papa.
Yeah, that's not all. This is serious business. Regional results come to the EC head office. Party agents, observers, any media for no woman monitor. The EC chairperson simply adds up all the results from all the 16 regions to get the presidential winner.
EC chairperson, she don't go fit declare any winner she they want.
There is no way to declare a winner other than the person elected from the 40,000 polling stations. Everything is transparent.
Now MPs there no way.
That's straightforward. We collect the signed pink sheets from all the polling stations in that constituency and declare the winner right there at the constituency.
So if the party fails to properly collect their own pink sheets results,
no dear,
Walla. Blame yourself times 2.
Take note that all through this process, all political party agents and observers them did their feely. Nobody they sleep. From the polling stations to the constituency collation centers to the regional collation centers and even the national collation center at the EC head office. All political party agents and observers them did their constant. Them open them eyes all they watch everything feely. Nobody go fit steal this election inside. Look, even EC chairperson self no go fit steal this election inside. 2024 elections, it be frinchim, it be clean, and with the whole kind, no bululu.
The 5 kg of rice has moved from 25 cedis to 165. Hey!
Boss, cement moved from 24 cedis to 105 cedis now.
Hey! The kenke is 5 cedis. The fish I have 10, 15, and 20 cedis. Which one do you want?
Hey!
Stop the A.
Hey!
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Franco Trading Enterprise is still your leading mobile phones, accessories, and your electronic retail outlet. We have products such as mobile phones, television sets ranging from 24 inches to 86 inches, air conditioner from 1.5 horsepower to 2.5 horsepower. We have washing machine, refrigerators, Bluetooth speakers, CCTV cameras, and many more. For bulk purchasing and retailing, visit any of our shops nationwide or our website at www.francotrading.com. You can call the numbers on the screen for any assistance. Please note, do not pick any number apart from these numbers. Franco Trading Enterprise, still the home of quality mobile phones, accessories, and your home appliances.
My life wasn't always like this. I worked in a bank and had money in bonds to cushion me for the future. Then, with a stroke of a pen, my life was destroyed. My bank was part of the 420 financial institutions which the MPP government recklessly collapsed. What was to become the life of the workers? No one in this insensitive government cared. And suddenly, I was jobless. Their incessant borrowing also led to a debt restructuring program that affected me, and just like that, a significant portion of my lifetime investment vanished. Even worse, my lifetime savings from 30 years of hard work has been rendered useless due to the continuous depreciation of the cedi and extremely high cost of living in the country. Now, Look at me. The fruits of my toil and sweat have all gone down the drain because of bad leadership. What to eat with my children is even a struggle. God, help me and the many who share in my pain. Let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. Change must come.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Welcome back to News Central on TV3. Just before we go, let's find out what's happening in the camp of the NDC as well. John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer, has continued to mount pressure on the NPP flag bearer to apologize to Ghanaians for plunging the country into the current economic woes. Let's listen to John Mahama now.
Or say, Akufo-Addo nye president papa because of our say be na be di three. Afa o ka say wo ba o be ye ade a eche say wo man penyi na andwen ho afa na wo mum enyom eto de bai wo se wo betwam ede a oye wo be sesan we na aden no ama na sa adwen no na mo ntimi anye sa nyoma na wo ka say obeye no se wo ka say Akufo-Addo amambuo no won pene so na nyoma oye no efutu a wo ma no onfa.
Well, so that's John Mahama on his tour of the OT region. Like we indicated here, election comments, we're keeping a pulse on all the political activities and definitely update you in subsequent bulletins. That's it for our show. I am Martin Esiedu Dati. And I am Kameni Amano. Do hold on or hang on if you like for the afternoon show which comes up next. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Well, me, not him. Bye-bye.